You know what was the most unfortunate thing I ever done did do
You being
done did
born?
watch do happen? Well, okay. Maybe the second thing.
Okay.
She
Okay, what are you saying?
somebody counting in another language, and then they like skip a number, and then they lose their place in in like the number order.
If they're counting and they skip a number and
So
they lose their place
so
in the alphabet.
yeah. And then they get to like where they think they should be, but they have no clue if it's actually like where they should be. And then you discover that language is Spanish. And it's even worse because that's like
Is this a personal story?
just about everyone knows how to count a Spanish. Count to 10 in Spanish.
Count to Spanish. they know how to
Everyone
count
can
us.
count to Spanish in 10. Come on.
Wow. You know, I used to know how to count in Japanese.
Used to?
I no longer take part in karate, so
Oh, that's where you were learning Japanese?
yeah.
Oh, because you're okay. It'd be something like that. They didn't. Yeah, they didn't have us do that. No, we didn't have to count in Japanese.
3.
Yeah, we were just told to count.
My sensei.
Or better yet, right? Don't count. The instructor will just yell at you, and you have to do the thing, and you have to yell "Kia" if you're supposed to, and if you're not supposed to, don't. The instructor will handle the counting. You don't have to think. You just have to punch
I
or
can
kick.
add an
or-
emoji reaction
Oh.
to a Google Doc. What's
Those were not the words I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say something about the stream, or... I am concerned.
You can add an edit, you can suggest an edit, a comment, or an emoji reaction. Thank you, Google. This is exactly what we wanted.
That's so laughing till I'm crying face emoji.
Have
Just
you,
highlight somebody's entire tragic backstory.
have you found, That's what I have under Manasseh dies in my notes. Anyways. No, did your sensei ever beat you?
No.
Okay. Well,
I didn't even call him sensei. He
If
was
we
just
were-
a martial arts instructor.
you know, if we were doing weren't doing the punching right, he'd walk
If you're
over
doing something
and
stupid.
he'd be like, "All right, get into position," and we do that. And he'd go, "Bah!" right in the gut. What? What, Jake?
It's fine.
Tell me.
It's fine.
Tell me.
I'm just ready to start the session.
Just gonna put Chloe on my desk. So if you hear weird noises, that's Chloe.
No, dog.
I love how she completely disappears when she's on my desk. Hey. Hey, Chloe. Hello, Chloe. Ooh. Okay. Anyways, okay.
Stream. You
We
smoke
were in
like
fact
work.
starting.
Work, please. Steam.
Okay.
Work. Oh, yeah.
Gamer. No thought, brain empty. Head
Yes.
head vacant.
What was the Eartham the saying?
The Seraphim said,
Shareth with them, Eartham.
"You put away your dagar." And
Set laid it on his chest.
yeah.
Eartham said, "There's much work to be done.
Wait, actually, yeah. I can just do this
Join the Astartes."
very simply.
Oh yeah, there do be a VOD though, eh?
Alice,
right.
what you know?
Ayo, clip it every time somebody's camera fails. take a shot every time somebody's camera fails on our stream. You'll have to order a coffin before the end.
Well, more or less,
Much work to be done.
Mia's distraction, your idea.
Was Mia's distraction your idea?
Just a convenient little.
Or did
I think
you
that
get
was
it?
a while.
Those lyrics.
There's a while left.
What is going on?
Lyra was into the concept of ending reality. Eartham was kind of just doing it.
Look,
Remember, kids, don't end reality.
Oh no, that was
Because-
one of the last things you said.
Oh.
And then I answered, and then you stared at me for about a minute.
What was the answer then? No, and then
That wasn't
Oh.
my idea.
oh, okay. We had some sort of conversation after that, but I don't recall it exactly.
So you actually start seeing that there are thunderclouds, rain clouds. Clouds! There's clouds! A cloud layer is coming in. Dark, gray, no rain. Just thunder and lightning.
Staring up into the sky still.
One day this will be all gone.
whether you're talking about the ephemeral or not, you are right. Oh. If we're talking about in terms of the end of the universe, whether by ice or fire, it doesn't really matter, does it? It can be stopped, can't it? Or we can jump ship when the day finally comes. The day finally comes, people will survive. Whatever sense. So, unless you're talking about the ephemeral.
Maybe the ephemeral was always our inevitable end. It was just a matter of time before somebody did something about it.
And it's just like technology. I don't think anything we've done is special. It just takes time. One day that device below us will be common. One day someone else will rediscover it. One day somebody might try and pull the ephemeral back. If we can't completely deal with it. Even if it's not this timeline. Even if it's no timeline in this little section of the multiverse. Something different will happen somewhere else.
For what it's worth. You don't need to accept this, but this is how I feel. I've enjoyed this time. Maybe it's because I'm back home.
I've taken some joy in it too, but not as a whole.
Oh. Everything doing all right?
See Chloe.
Ah,
She was looking back and forth between me and the door, and
the pleading eyes.
yeah. Let me out.
Yeah. I haven't hated being back here. I haven't had to sit still, so that's been nice.
He kind of looks up and he smiles. A genuine one. I think one of the first ones you've seen.
Hmm.
Thank you for bringing me back. I think that was the kick in the rear that I needed. To finally go out with some sense of satisfaction. Completion.
Bringing you.
First time I died, I had so much left to do. Now it's all over. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of takes a deep breath. Puts his hands behind his head, you know, like lying against the straw roof.
Vic sits up, finally,
Mm.
looks at the ground, grabs the dagger so he can put it in the coat. He turns and looks back at Eritham over the shoulder.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll stick with that. I don't know a lot of things. But, thank you for not agreeing with me.
Stands up.
I need to know that not everyone, there's not one right way. It's not going to change much, but, it's going to be kept in mind.
He stands up after giving it a second. When is late here? Because it was night, and then it was like an entire day, and now it's back to night again.
So you went in around when people were starting to go to wake up. You spent the entire night in the caves, and the majority of that was just walking through the caves.
Yeah.
And then you got out around mid-morning, and then walking back was like half the day. Then you spent from afternoon to evening.
Oh, jeez.
Bouncing. And then you came back around evening, nightfall. So this is like
So it's-
early night.
It's like level of exhaustion or close to it levels right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to debate what he would do. How long? Nah, you know, he just stands up. And he goes back down to the table where the drawings and the plans are. Telek. And he gets to writing, but as he's doing it, he asks Telek,
Does that seem like the Alistair you remember?
They're strangely similar.
Sure, I hear them, but the Alistair he spoke of,
I guess this is all in there,
Yeah.
up top. He's not saying this out loud.
I think Alistair was very good at hiding his interior battles to those closest to him. And he needed to sort them out with either someone he didn't know or himself. And he chose to do that with an enemy and someone he hated. Oh God. Not again. Jake! Jake! No. No. No.
Well,
Hi. Hi. Hi.
power didn't go out, but something did.
Woo! The internet?
I guess this is some BS right now.
Sounds like some
What the
BS right now.
Frick. Hello? This
Hi.
thing on?
Yeah, this thing is on.
No, my frickin' range extender. The whole Wi-Fi just conked out of frickin' nowhere, man.
Yeah, baby.
And I was saying stuff to Telek, and then this frickin' happens again. It's not even raining. The roads are dry. What is this? The router's on.
The router is on.
This is not even. This doesn't even make sense. This time it's just given up. There is no other explanation. Hello? Please? Thank you? Troubleshoot? Do something? almost all of the internet adapters. This is not cash money. Hi.
Hello.
Hello again. From my phone.
Gamer.
I mean, the audio quality's worse, and I'm on my phone, but technically this is possible.
Technically, it is possible.
It's just not good in any sense. It's not responding. That's fine. I'm gonna go screw up the router. Let's go screw up the router.
Hack him up. Beat him up.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello there. Welcome to the Slingshot channel.
Welcome to the Slingshot channel.
Online. Are you online?
But are you really?
Do you, and I quote, even lift, bro?
Do you even lift, bro?
Buzz, does you lift me? I don't even know. Router, please work. Hello there. So it's just learning how to be on.
Proud to
Again.
be a Wi-Fi router.
I'm not even sure what to say at this point, Jamie.
I don't know what to say either.
I want to apologize, but I don't know what to apologize for. There is nothing.
There is nothing.
This is not cash money.
Hey, not very cash money.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
Alright. Привет, al gato.
El gato.
El gato. I got toes, but I also got a cat. El gato.
There's some cursed images of Brian that you haven't even seen, Jake. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, frickin' internet.
Frickin' internet.
Frick you and your stupid internet. This is not right. When we're off again.
Yeah, baby, let's go. That's what it's all about.
You're gonna get to learn the path I take from my room to the Wi-Fi router very well.
Right. Oh my gosh. Wi-Fi router. You are a waifu. I am a waifu.
Oh yes, the legendary waifu router.
We are all waifus. The celestial soup!
What?
The celestial soup of waifu poop. You have a tall house.
Alto.
Roof.
Wait. Alto. Alto.
Roof.
Alto.
Roof.
Roof.
Roofamungo.
Abovus.
Abuvus?
Abovus.
Abovus?
Abovus. The tall room. Alto. Tall.
Roof?
Roof. There's a Rufus Abovus.
Alto roof?
Altos has many apples. It's like it's trying to decide if it's online. Let's go check my PC gamer. This is the content that the stream needed. Not what it wanted, but what it needed.
It's always something that happens on your end. It's like either there's a ghost in your house,
This is
or your Wi-Fi says no.
this is BS. Can you just work with me for once? The router doesn't even register that it's working.
Really?
It's not very happy right now. El gato. Niet.
Niet.
I'm gonna probably die of death. Or sliding down the stairs, whichever comes first. Can you please just work?
Do you have unlimited
I just
data?
wanna play again.
Do you have unlimited data on your phone?
What?
Were you one of the people in the group who had unlimited data on their phone? Yes? You can use a hotspot for your computer.
I could. I can give it a shot in a minute.
Alright.
Hello? There's gonna be a demon under this desk.
Isn't there not already?
Not in the way I was expecting. Surge protector, you don't have to protect from... What just happened? Hello? I might have just reset the surge protector.
That's how you do things. Good job, good job. Surge protector restarted.
That either worked or it didn't. And at this rate, I don't know which one would be better. Alright, it's time to go back upstairs.
You sound so depressed.
I'm not depressed. I tried to my Wi-Fi. I didn't do my Wi-Fi. Hi, Mark.
Oh. Oh, hi.
Oh, hello, Mark. Please just watch. For the love of all that remains holy on this earth, please just work. Alright, well, the nuclear option has just been allowed by me. I'm grabbing the hotspot.
Gamers.
You know the little like thing that says it work? Like in the Wi-Fi things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I connected to that.
Wow.
That might also just happen to be what my hotspot's called. Anyways. You ready? Does everything sound and look fine?
We're fine?
Jamie?
We're fine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Like, do a thumbs up as fast as possible. Okay. There's not that much delay. Usual Discord delay.
Okay.
Alright, try 3. Stream.
Let's go!
Go!
Alright.
Oh. What was the last thing you heard? Thank you?
Yes.
Okay. So Threx said,
But you heard what I said, though, right? From Tilak.
did you say something?
Yes.
Because I went off and said something else after the thank you. So, you might need to repeat yourself.
So you asked Tilak something about Alistair.
Yes. I heard the stuff about Alistair.
What stuff what did I say? So we're on the same page.
Well, first he responded by comparing Eritham to Alistair,
Yeah.
and then I asked, but what about the Alistair you heard of there?
Yeah. And he responded.
And I don't remember the response, but I know you did.
It was...
You might have to restart that.
Yeah, it was, it was essentially like, you know, he wasn't one to... He's very good at hiding his inner
Yes.
conflicts. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I do remember that. And then I said, thank you. And then I think that's where it cut off.
I couldn't hear the thank you.
Oh, okay. So,
Thank you. Not just for that, but for being solid link into the past, and for also being present, despite the connection to the past.
Just doing what I was made for.
he nods. And, some nights Thrick would fight it, but, he'll just keep writing, and working on Type 3 till he eventually passes out. Just falls asleep at the table.
In those moments where you get lower and lower and lower, closer to the desk as you start to lose energy in keeping yourself straight up.
At some point
writing
he'll-
become slurred.
At some point, once he feels like not just like the first head droop, because he can fight through some of that, but as it starts getting like lower and lower, and as his like neck starts to hurt,
Mm-hmm.
he'll eventually kind of just give up, and he won't move anything, but just put his head down and fall asleep on the desk.
And time goes by. Enough to take a short rest.
Oh, frick me. Alright, I'm short resting to as many hit points as I can get. Alright, we're back up,
Okay.
mostly.
Still, dead of night. In the early morning, for you, the later night, the evening for some, you were awoken by a silent Serenity, who shakes you awake. Eritham is nowhere to be seen. He's probably asleep in the bedroom. But Serenity, whispers, "Hey, you awake now? Trick? There's something wrong. I need your help. Okay, come here. Come with me."
Oh, I'm sorry, I got very confused. I just got a Bridgestone commercial with the voices.
Oh, wow.
What was the last thing you said?
Hey, come with me. Please. Okay. She kind of sneaks out of the house.
He'll like be about to slide off, and then just like grab Talek and put it in his coat.
As she exits, she turns to you as some drunkards, or no, actually nobody's drunk. A lot of people just, some walk down the street. Warmly lit night. Still that overcast, that thick layer of clouds. She turns to you after exiting the house. She says, "There's something wrong. I don't know. I was there. I was falling asleep, and when I woke up, I can't explain it. Just come with me." And she
Are you under Crimson's?
yeah. She grabs your hand and starts to run.
He was not expecting the running, but then once she starts running, he steals himself for it. He's like, time to run, and then he starts running.
Okay. This surely freshens you up. It not freshens you up, but it wakes you up enough. Breathing in that cold air, kind of burns your throat a little bit. But as you inch closer and closer to the less wealthy part of the town, you see kind of this. It's a house that is a majority second floor, but it has like a staging room at one of those like you walk in kind of rooms on the lower floor and then immediately goes up to like a second floor. See one of those things. She has the door ajar and she leads you inside a completely dark house. And she walks up the stairs very, very slowly. You have dark vision.
Have to ask.
You have dark vision.
No, I have to ask if it's magical.
Magical? No. It's not.
Okay.
You walk up the...
Stealthy like.
Huh?
Stealthy like says
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Stealthy like following Serenity's lead.
No light is coming from the house. But you hear kind of a knocking. A knocking as if somebody's knocking on wood. You start entering into this house. It's messy, but barren. So like it's disorganized, but not much is in there. Purely on the basis of they can't afford it. And she walks in over in the like kitchen area. She points to a silhouette of fear in the warm, the distant light coming from the town, and also the moonlight peeking through the clouds and canopy. A silhouette of him at the window, and you just see him facing away and just knocking his horn against the side of the window.
Crimson anywhere?
Crimson is nowhere to be seen at the moment. And fear just doesn't turn to greet you. She says, "I woke up, I saw him like this, and I came to get you."
Psionic link
Okay.
onto her.
Alright. I don't know what's happening. This is inside the mind. Did this come up in any text?
Has he said anything?
No. I don't even know.
Does it come up in any?
No.
What is he looking at? What does his eyes look like?
Seemingly nothing, but his eyes, normal. Just that constant on-beat knock from his horn onto the side of the window. That little jingle from his earpiece and his jewelry just kind of every knock. I don't know what's going on.
I've never seen something like this.
Have I? Have I?
No. Don't think so.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, no.
I haven't seen anything like this before. Is Crimson alright? Is it just him?
What's your passive perception?
23.
Yeah, okay. After being focused on fear for a minute, you turn to look down the hall, and Crimson is like halfway out of the door frame, looking at you in serenity. In a manner of almost like as if she's possessed.
Boy. Alright.
You can see her nails have dug into the wood, and in moments she's scratched down, her nails broken into the wood, her fingers bleeding, as you see that long scratch mark on that door frame. Serenity looks back at you. I woke up like this. I don't know what's going on.
Neither.
What should we do?
Crap.
To either look hostile, like looking at Crim's. I mean, Fear doesn't seem particularly hostile. But does Crimson seem like she's prepared to stab,
No.
stabby stab, or do something drastic?
No, but her muscles are tensed, as if she's fighting off a great pain.
Who's she looking at? Us?
You guys.
Fear?
You guys.
Journey of 1,000 miles. Out loud, he'll say, Crimson.
No response. Just more of that scratching on that wood.
Oh, jeez. He'll back up to Fear.
You start seeing, long piercings of wood just start entering through the top of her finger. It starts just bleeding.
We can deal with that later. Tiste just kind of pushes at like Fear's thigh, trying to just like move him, shake him, get some semblance of action out of him.
Just continues that knocking.
Okay. Cool. I was gonna say I want to punch him in like the side to deal just like a hit point of damage. Then I realized my strength modifier is not high enough.
You start hearing, I've lost my way.
I've
lost my way. I've lost
From-
my way. From fear, yeah. I've lost my way.
Alright,
I've lost
cool.
my way.
It's time for young form.
Okay.
Alright. He's gonna turn into young form, and I'm gonna have to remember what the stats are for that. Okay, I know what the stats are for that. Okay, and then he's gonna grab Fear's horn, shake his head.
the clanging of the jewelry is the only thing that can be heard. Until he, like, slowly looks
Fear.
down at you.
Fear.
Ravaged. Tortured. Broken. Ravaged. Tortured. Divided. He just continues that cycle.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go work at Crimson now.
Okay.
Seeing that she's probably still trying to give herself some nice new extensions, I'm gonna walk over to her and like gently kind of just try and push the hand up and out of the splintery unfun.
You get resistance, but not toward you, but just how strong she is in keeping that grip in. And
Crimson.
You see, she kind of looks down at you. Not in the same mindless way that fear kind of does, but. Frick? I don't want to feel a thing anymore. I'm tired of begging for things that I need. Nothing truly matters anymore. No one will mourn your passing or my passing. We will slip into the sable, eternal, cold and afraid.
Does it seem like this is Crimson, or does it seem more like Inverna?
Make an insight.
Or some other being?
Make an insight.
Okay, cool. Insight, you'll say?
Yeah.
There goes the rest of my psionic die. $34. Who is it?
It's not Inverna. You're unsure, but you land on it is in fact Crimson. It just feels like she had a pretty damning realization. Imagine living like a king someday, Thrick. A single night without a ghost in your walls. She kind of like bites her lip with her canine, enough to make it bleed.
Crimson. What are you getting at?
We've lost our way. We've all lost our
Who?
way. You, me, this town.
Because
We've been, and at the same time, in sync with fear, says, we've been ravaged, tortured, broken, divided. And then she continues, fear doesn't, for power, money, land, and yet some still stubbornly resist the inevitable betrayal of our criterion.
who's the criterion?
Betrayal of our criterion, like as in our ideals.
Oh, Criterion. Okay.
There was never hope or love here, and there never will be. No matter how hard we persist.
still seem like it's them genuinely, or does it seem like it's something else?
Seems like them deep down, but feels like something's just snapped.
I've no clue what has gotten into either of you. But it has been a very long night. So if both of you would do me a favor and snap out of it.
Serenity screams as Fear withdraws a rapier, and sort of you just see him kind of fight him. It's almost like he's fighting himself as he just goes bah, right into his arm, and you just hear a scream, and then he just shakes his head. What the hell was that? And he
Okay,
just-
that's good. Thrick, like, very much starts holding the other arm with a lot of strength.
Fear, what is happening?
Wait, no.
Fear, what is happening?
What? He withdraws the rapier and immediately just kind of just throws it aside, casts Cure Wounds on himself.
Take the Raven and the Beast for me. What is happening?
I don't know. Is Crimson okay? Like, what is going on?
Whatever just saved you was probably not what was in her.
He just kind of points at her.
It's like you've both had some revelation, one you're not being very specific about. It's pretty damning, whatever it is. Forgive my language.
Thrick? This is Jamie just stuttering over my words. How do I want to say
Yeah.
this?
Who's speaking?
Fear.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how to say this. In my notes, I just say he says this information. But
Oh. Figuring out how to word it.
yeah. Okay, sorry. You just gonna have to give me a second.
Is this a get the pen out and get ready kind of moment?
No, not really. Unless you want it to be, I suppose. Just depends on how the.
It's
you
always
take
a get the pen
information.
out moment. What am I saying?
Drake, I just saw you. In the place beyond. Not heaven, not Helheim. Elysium or... I saw you there. The world I told you about.
And
Stares at him dead in the eyes.
You brought more.
do me a favor. If you can, if I am there, and if you're there, and you find me, kill me. I don't want to go to that place. If not me, just make sure I never arrive. I don't want to ruin that place.
I learned.
But if I can, I will. I will prevent that if it's a vision.
killed my sister when she was 7. She shouldn't be alive. At that time,
Keeps the hand held up. Like, what's happening?
you kind of feel almost like a distortion start to form behind you as that crippling, kind of oppressive, like, force that a disintegrate could have start to swarm around the house. It's like in the house around Crimson. As the floorboards start to shatter, the walls begin to shatter. These splinters swirl around her. As she's no longer touching this ground, she starts to float upwards very slowly.
Can somebody tell me what's happening?
I thought you would know, Fear says.
Oh, great.
He doesn't let go as she starts racing up.
Any suggestions?
How'd you get... Sorry, this is Jamie again.
He starts... It's still like... The area around us, though, is still, like, exists, right?
Yeah.
It's just within this room, various splinters and things are
Yeah.
whipping around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Fear says, how did you get me out of it?
You stabbed yourself in the...
He pulls out his knife.
You
spoke
stabbed
to me.
yourself in the arm. What?
You spoke to me. We had a whole...
Fine. I just told you to snap out of it.
He looks up at the other one.
Snap out of it. Please. Come back to us.
You hear, you told me to, from Fear. As you look up and say,
To...
snap out of it, you know. But this is where we get a little funky. Okay. This is where we get a little funky.
Portals.
You, Thrick,
Okay.
yourself, controlled by you, are not saying these things. Think of
Okay.
it this way. This is just an easy way of saying it. You are now inside of Crimson's mind. What would Thrick say in conversation to try and quell a rage within Crimson?
A
storm.
rage within Crimson.
A storm of emotions is a better way of saying it. But first, let me describe what inside Thrick sees. Just the easy way of saying this. It is a storm. Very much like the one outside. You're standing in the street of Al Shalana, this city, this town, village. Not a city, it's too small. The aura around Crimson has grown a lot more violent and much bigger, consuming the ground, the trees, other houses. You seem to be unaffected by it. All you feel is a light breeze. She looks down at you with these tearful eyes, but yet they glow white, a very pale, burning white. What are you saying?
About your child.
That's either gonna fall one side of the razor blade or the other. We're about to find out.
You see her furrow her brows. As that wind gets a little stronger, that vortex. You start to hear other voices. One in a young girl's. I came here because I trusted you. Because I knew you wouldn't do this to me. I thought you were a good kobold. Another one. Crying. Sylvie's voice. I can't do this anymore. I wasn't made to adventure. It's just too much. I have to go with my family. Another voice. Thavo. That'll be fine. As long as there's a forest in the afterlife. Heiresses. You abandoned us. You left us to die. All seemingly coming from Crimson. But her mouth does not move as she still looks down at you with furrowed brows.
Back into hers.
I'm done dealing with the past. So snap out of it. Stop tearing this house apart.
Your normal body
Mm-hmm.
is still, holding on, looking up at her. As you start to, you see this, you kind of see that, you know that there's an inner dialogue going on within her.
Mm.
As she starts to, continue to rise through, but that vortex sort of rips a hole in the roof as they just continue to float upward. As you're now kind of staring down at ground level because the floor below and the roof has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Kind of just looking down as Serenity peers through that middle, or that roof, the hole in the roof, as Fear runs behind and looks up at you once more.
He yells down to Fear, "What'd I say?" Hmm.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I had to get my bearings again. Dig. There we go. Whoa, man. That took a bit. Jesus. I'm not like other I'm not doing the kobold voice, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not like other kobolds. I like to knit. Truly, I like crafts and dolls and. Then an image replays in your mind of, you know, that kind of joyous smile on his face before he got ripped away by that bugbear at that last moment. Then in the dark room on the Spelljammer, on your way to the Mel Dungeon, the conversation with Astra Rudan, as she says, you know, the past is just a story we tell ourselves. Higher and higher you go.
He'll like grab onto her shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
looking at her, and then still in the eyes. I'm trying to think of what exactly he'd say. I'm just gonna say whatever comes to mind instead.
I'm not gonna stop being the monster. But now I'm not planning on stopping. You all can shut up and get out of the way, or I will push you out of the way myself.
You know those movie scenes where it's like you'll see a lot of them in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Whenever
Oh, yeah.
that movie, whenever I force you to watch that movie.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's shot in 8mm, very rusty film, like not rusty, but you know, very like really crappy film. So you can see like the film grain, all that kind of stuff. Not saying film grain is crappy, but like very warm coloring, ethereal, warm, cozy. Think of like that, but scenes of violent abuse. Blank abuse, as in any type of abuse happened through the eyes of Crimson. You can't tell if she remembers it fondly or not. But clearly there's a sort of like puppy dog eye sort of but I loved you sort of feeling to these. Like, why would you do this to me? I thought you loved me and I love you. And it's all from the hands of these white wolves. The white wolf. That final instance is of a young fear sinking a blade, a very cold one, in the rain, into the belly of Crimson as a child. Same feeling. I loved you. And it seems now that surrounding her isn't just your past, but it was her past disguised as yours. As even the happy moments, the sad moments, the overwhelmingly happy, the joyous, all just play. Because now at this point you're close to the canopy. As you start to see that vortex is now ripping her apart. The skin on her fingers, the hair on her head starts to get ripped apart, torn off. And you hear from the house, "You told me I was loved no matter what I've done."
Alright. This time, he doesn't like grab her by the shoulders, but goes in for a full hug. Tells her,
You're loved still, no matter what you've gone through.
This is another Jamie moment.
yeah.
Trying to figure out how I want to say this next bit. You're hugging Crimson. In one blink, like literally 1 second, you hug everybody you've hugged before, and they're gone. We'll leave you now. You've done good, friend. Is like a collective whisper that comes from it. I'm trying to figure out how to describe this next bit.
Yeah.
You find that you're not hugging Crimson anymore. In between your legs is a pyramid. Your torso is a tesseract-like field around the cube, the Allspark, the rune. As it starts to, or as the whirlwind, the vortex starts to calm and slowly descend you down into that house again. The house was never ripped apart. You sink through the roof. Fear is asleep in the kitchen. Serenity looks stunned. And Crimson is nowhere to be seen at the moment. That device, about as heavy as the lifting bar, the bar. You know, about 45 pounds.
What bar? Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
It's heavy about that. Sits in your
Actually,
hands.
it's 20 kilograms, meaning it's 44.5. Anyways, I'm so sorry.
But it sits in your hands. And Serenity just sort of like still in a stunned silence.
He turns back to Serenity.
What did you just do?
I don't think I know anymore. I think I just spoke to me, but not maybe to someone else.
She puts out a hand for you to grab.
He walks over, switches out of the young form. My mother is calling me. I am sorry. It's one thing after another. Call. She was just trying to make sure everything was good and say goodnight. He reaches out and grabs her hand.
She guides you into the bedroom where Crimson is laying with the sheets over her. Trinity looks at you and says, I think she passed away about an hour ago.
Nods.
I haven't awoken fear yet.
What of?
Grief? Guilt? That's all I could feel. This isn't all that there is, right? This can't be all that there is in this world.
Death. Pain.
Wait, sorry. Wrong voice.
Death. Pain. Suffering. It's not. Like it or not, I think you alone prove that. Regardless of what everything else says.
I'll trust you on that. She lets go and goes to quietly wake up Fear.
As she leaves, in the few moments he has, he looks at Crimson,
Mm-hmm.
then he looks down at the device. Oh, and also, what are the voices like right now?
Surprisingly quiet.
Not gone, but quiet?
Yeah, not gone but quiet.
What in the frick?
That is all you can do with this device.
Holy crap! What the frick? Okay, give me a second.
And if you want to look at above 9th level spells, just tell me. But if you don't really need to bother with that, don't tell me because it requires something special, and I'll tell you what if you want to inquire.
Cast something above 9th level?
Yeah,
With DM approval.
yeah. Because some are just kind of absurd. Oh, I actually need to make an edit. Just 1 second.
Create a race, create a world, inherit power from the gods.
Yeah.
Jeez, okay, some of these seem... Can I just mention, like, the power scaling on this device seems to be a little
No, it's supposed to be
variable?
anything- it's anything from 9th level or above.
Okay.
So it's kind of it covers a lot.
Yeah, no, like, the power scaling is, like, the lowest thing on the list, I think, is, like, 9th level spell. And then, seems like you go up from there.
Okay, I made an edit at the very bottom.
Okay. The... Utan?
The Utan, yeah.
Utan. Gee. That's a lot of things. And does he just get mind blasted with this information? Just looking at the device, like... It's just
You
like...
just seem to know what it does.
Hmm.
Like as if you already knew. You can only do one of
Jeez.
those things, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. And only once. So once you do it, the device will be destroyed.
Gotta make another one.
Yeah.
And I severely doubt that this could be replicated again in a timely manner.
Very hard.
We would have to do it Eretham's way the next time. Good night. I'm probably gonna lug this thing back to Eretham's and have a little chat before I do anything with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the moment, he'll wait here with Serenity and Fear.
Fear does come to the Riven. Kneels beside Crimson. He doesn't cry. But he stays next to her. kind of closes the slightly open eyes on Crimson. Says something in a language. Infernal, which you know.
Yes. If it has a vaguely evil connotation, I can probably speak it.
Forever and ever, Angel. And he just kind of walks out.
Where does he head? After he walks out, Dirk will start heading downstairs. I assume we were upstairs?
Out onto the road and down away. Just out of the
Okay.
town.
Just nod. Turn to Serenity.
I've seen a lot of things. But in under 2 days, I think I've just seen the most confusing set of events I have ever had the pleasure of seeing. I want to ask for your forgiveness for what I did back there. Handing you to Crimson. I know it turned out well, but I still feel bad for it.
Serenity turns into a raven.
What the frick?
Perches on your shoulder. It's like a half-grown raven, so it's not as large, but it can fit on your shoulder even in kobold form. It just sort of nuzzles,
Just kind of tilts his head like into it.
lands on the windowsill, looks at you with I forgive you. Flutters off.
And it just nods. I assume there's a tree nearby.
Yeah.
Tree burial. No, he'll actually walk back inside this time.
Mm-hmm.
He'll wrap Crimson's body, bring it out to the forest, and ask a tree,
Would you allow this body to finally rest?
Creaking of the tree and the roots opening up the ground, she sinks in and is covered as if there is no disturbance whatsoever.
nods, steps back, picks up the device and like shoulders it like a pack, and gets on his way to Eritham.
Eartham's asleep at his workbench. Kind of just knocked out like how you did before Serenity came in.
He'll get extra quiet. Very quietly move some things off the workbench till there's a space where he can put the device. Right. Pull up a chair, slide it, stand up, and he'll slam the device onto the desk.
Okay. I thought you were going to say on his head. I was like, whoa.
He kills Eritham with the device.
It's mine!
Already? I thought you were going to wait until morning.
He chuckles to himself and looks at him.
You're gonna job. You've done what took me a year. In just 2 days.
Yeah.
I feel great. I'm just kidding.
Neither of us do. I just wanted to mess with you one last time. But we still have a few things left on the list to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you have a safe place for this, or is here fine?
He's fine. I don't even keep my doors locked.
Good.
I'm that confident.
Good enough for your talisman, good enough for a device that can make a god.
Yeah. I used that creak in the door as an early warning system. But thanks to you, that creak is gone now. He kind of like.
Oh, I'm
nudges,
sorry.
He kind of nudges you jokingly.
I can go reset your creek if you need
no,
it.
it's totally okay. Please don't.
We'll see. I think I get to make a wish, so maybe I'll just add a little aside there.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
I've had a very strange few days.
Welcome to Ashland.
I'm sorry to wake you. I'm not too sorry to wake you,
No.
but I'm just sorry enough to feel a little bad about it. Good dreams are bad.
No dreams in it, sir.
The only good one.
He hops down.
I'm gonna go sleep for 16 hours straight.
That is
You have a good night.
totally understandable.
He goes over to the couch. Does he have like a blanket or even like a rug or something like that?
Just tablecloth.
There's a tablecloth. He like slides everything out. Like he like slides everything off, takes the tablecloth, wraps up in the tablecloth, and sleeps for the length of 2 long rests to reset his max HP.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's why I said 16 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll take that long rest. Thank you.
Aria, boys.
Aria.
What the heck? That's not what I wanted to post. I almost posted the full capacity of the Uton in the middle of bot commands. That would have been an odd song to listen
Yo,
to.
Aria, play God-making device.
Alright. You would wake up around nightfall again.
Hmm.
So, around twilight,
You-
you wake up.
He like lays down, and it's like he blinks. It's like,
Arathem's
Can
just
I
kind of...
sleep?
Yeah, now Arathem's like in the kitchen making like some beverage.
he look he looks over at Aratham.
Did I sleep?
Oh, yeah, you're out cold.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thought you were dead at some point. Actually, you know, where is Serenity? Where and Fear and Crimson and Laurelin? Are they all fine? Did they leave or?
He like sits up, finally feels like, oh, okay, I've just been laying here for 16 hours.
Feel.
Pushes the tablecloth off.
Crimson died. Serenity turned into a raven and flew away. Fear just walked out. Laurelin is... I asked her if she could retrieve another battery for me. But she sounded like she was gonna do something else. Oh.
And he points to the kind of island in the kitchen, and there's just one sitting there.
Thurk reveals the other one that he like just used as a pillow. No, I'm messing.
She
Almost.
she told me to tell you she'll be gone for a very long time. Until next time you meet. Stay true to you. And she also she I suppose she actually did meet Fear, and he actually went back to his old time.
He nods.
Oh, and before I forget, out of his pocket, he sets the mask gently down on the table.
All one piece, or the two pieces he cut it into to allow the exo to breathe? Glass.
It looks like it was mended back together, yeah.
He nods, yawns, stretches, all of the morning things. Shakes a leg as it's like falling asleep. Gets over to the table.
Is whatever you just poured caffeinated?
This? Yes.
You mind pouring another cup?
Uh,
I've got quite the day ahead of me, I think.
okay. Pours you another one. Slowly hands it toward you.
Thank you.
He says it like he says thank you like the weight of like everything has kind of hit him, the awkwardness of the situation. He takes a sip. What is it?
It is one of the strongest alcohols on Calanthum with a small bit of black coffee.
He sets it down. He doesn't swallow.
Uh-huh.
Shifts into young.
Uh-huh.
Breathes fire, and it's a proper plume this time. Like, not just like the regular, it's like, it's a real plume of fire. Ah!
I think we found ourselves a lightweight. And he's holding it like somebody just woke up, holding their morning coffee, you know, hair all messy. You know, I think we found a lightweight.
Oh, what in the... Are you trying to send me to Helheim early? I'm sorry I even asked.
Wanted to get revenge for you bonking the machine down under the table.
Why is my vision blurred?
Oh, you'll get used to it.
I didn't even swallow.
That's... Yes.
Oh, as like the pain and the taste finally like starts to subside. Oh,
There was coffee in there. If that makes you feel better.
Oh, thank you. At least I know you're not a liar. In this case.
he closes his eyes and just kind of like rests on the table for a second.
Yeah. You don't drink?
No, I don't. Not looking to replace one addiction with another.
Understandable.
Oh, is this a daily thing for you?
Oh, no. Only on days like these.
Oh,
You can see outside. It's one of those light overcast days.
through clouded vision.
Yeah. It's damp outside as if, all day it's been raining, but it has stopped. Light overcast. It honestly doesn't look like clouds or canopies covering it. It's just, that sometimes where it's like, it's overcast outside, but it doesn't feel like it, or it doesn't like light wise. So
Yeah.
it's just one of that.
It's bright,
gray.
but overcast.
Yeah, it's that gray sort of.
Well, I love that light level. The gray instead of the proper yeller sunlight.
Yeller. Yeah.
Yeller. Old yeller. The sun is old and yeller because it's old and yellow
Okay.
compared to humans.
Is that what I call my granddad?
Old yeller? Is your grandfather the sun?
No, he's dead, but, before... before they died, they were in fact old and yellow. Good soup. Anyways, what just happened? What just happened?
Fine, we can just play the game now.
Okay.
I'm not laughing.
Are you
No.
going home today? Going back today?
Do I have the extra 15 temp hit points for sleeping here, or is Aertham's couch less comfortable than a tree?
You have 6.
I had to think long ago though.
You have 6.
6 extra?
Yeah.
He finally... Once he can see straight... What about the voices? Are they still there?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Gone.
Okay. Completely, or like...
Completely.
Okay.
Holding his cup, kind of, black circles under his eyes, he says, fun fact. Humans who live here live twice as long. And I would say here, as in the woods of Animus, not just Ashalana.
Alright. Is there reason for it, or just it happens?
There seems to be a regenerative magic. There's an aura around these trees.
He smiles.
Great. So you get to live for double forever? I take it.
Double forever.
Double forever, yeah.
It's like
Right.
infinity times 2, which, it's
No,
just
no, no, no.
infinity.
Yeah. Fun thing. A device in there. I think it cubes infinity. Because if one timeline is infinity, multiple timelines is squaring time. And in a multiverse is a bunch of timelines. It's a bunch of timelines. Then it's cubing. Which means the thing you made in there, that device cubes infinity. In a way we can't even understand. I don't think. Or you could understand you made it, for heaven's sake. Twice. I had to claim one of those times.
I made it twice without you.
What did you make it? Oh, right. Mel. Okay, fair enough.
Back then it was much more easier.
Really?
Yeah, I actually had access to things like that.
You sound like those old people who are like, I bought this house for like 3 copper and an ox. And the people in the modern day have to sell their souls. Just saying. Thanks for telling me how it was, Grandpa.
When you said sell your souls, I was so tempted to just be like Eris, and restrained myself.
Like air? You mean like Insignia?
Like Insignia. I mean, yeah. He says, yeah, okay. Kiddo.
Yeah, I've got an easy nowadays. I think is the next line.
See how you have not seen the way I had to go to school growing up.
What, they give you 50 lashings every time your heart beat or something?
Yeah, essentially. Dad always got the belt out.
Mm.
Yeah, obviously. Right. Anyways. Are you
This is incredibly surreal. I've been here for 3 days and it has not stopped. It has not subsided. But I can't go yet.
He taps the back of his head.
It's beans time.
Beans time?
Beans time. Or bean, whatever. There's only one of them. Well, there's 2. I've got a brain.
I don't think we have to.
Okay.
I think I got enough when you did it the first time.
Oh, okay, great. We don't have to make refried beans. I'm gonna stop making jokes around you. I'm sorry.
Does he actually? Does he ever
No,
laugh?
he actually just
Does he-
laughed.
Oh, okay.
Finally. That's my backup plan. If saving the universe doesn't work out, I'm gonna do stand up for the void. I think it'll work out pretty good.
Tough crowd.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I did find something. I believe there is a way to stop it.
Please.
Though it requires a lot.
Right.
I don't think
Cutting it out.
that's a way.
Is there another that's less invasive?
No.
You know, my first thought is, I'm sure there's something magical that I could remove it with just a teleport. I don't want to do that. I also don't want an implosion inside my head, so
It's not preferable.
yeah. I like thinking. So, you know any good surgeons? Or people who can wield a knife without killing me? Can you wield a knife without killing me? I know I'm very stabbable.
I'm trying to sneeze.
Ertham's trying to sneeze. Thrick just keeps making jokes till something happens.
Very stabbable. I wouldn't cut it out currently. I wouldn't cut it out.
Okay. But there's a way to stop it.
Yeah. It has a negative effect Or, sorry, it has a negative reaction to radiant damage. Or, sorry, radiant magic. Radiant magic.
Okay.
So it doesn't kill it, but it stuns it.
So what? Just get the dagger out and start
Yeah,
stabbing with some radiant.
don't stab yourself.
He pulls out Telek, and it starts glowing with radiant light.
You want to see a magic trick?
No, I'm kidding.
Make this dagger disappear.
You. Does it just have to happen, or do I have to like hit myself in the back of the head?
You have to make
Oh,
dagger contact.
Oh, okay. So if something's stunning it, it's already in my head.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, you know, I always wanted a direct hole that just drills right into the back of my head. So you got a drill.
Points his horns.
Not once. I can do it again.
You can do that on your own time.
Yeah, thanks. Okay.
Anything else?
I'm joking. I was thinking about something else. Sorry. I can't go back yet.
Oh yeah.
If I go back,
He pulls out, looks through the ambulance, pulls out the right one.
I think if I go back, I'm probably gonna die.
Is that the Inverna?
Yeah.
You're good. You're fine.
What?
There's another thing that Laurelin... Jamie forgot to tell you that, so I'll just say he also did. Laurelin also met Verna in pursuit of that exo, and I think you're covered.
What does he? I'm covered mean? I'm covered as in I can take this thing off.
Yeah, there's something to that though. I don't know what. Let me just get real quick. Wait 1 second.
Okay.
I believe this is it. The Amulet of the Devout is the name.
Inventory. Amulet of the Devout. What tier?
What's the highest?
Purple. Very rare. +3.
So it's rare. So it's rare.
Yeah, rare. +2. Okay. Add that to my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Equipment. It requires an attunement slot, which I don't have.
She said to let you keep that as a gift. Yeah.
I'm a little uncomfortable wearing it.
What does it look like? Does it look like it has some sort of symbol or something? It's just a steel puck at the end of a chain.
It okay. It on the end of it is a blue what's it called? It's not geode.
Geode.
You know those
Okay.
things where you like crack
No,
it
no, yeah.
open? Okay, perfect. It's a blue geode, and inscribed on it is a
Blue geode.
thunder cloud. Yes. Yep, that's it. It's a thunder cloud on it.
A thundercloud.
Was this thing ever able to kill me? Could it still kill me in the future?
No.
Okay. Okay.
He looks down finally. Kind of after the hubbub of the past few days, remembering his like entire left arm is scorched.
Do you happen to have, a cloth place around here?
I think he's gonna close up soon.
Same place. Only place. Alright.
He starts jogging out.
Thank you.
Jogs out to the same drowsy guy.
Yeah.
He hops up.
Hi.
Oh, he also grabs the 2 sets of clothes he retrieved a long time ago and brings them with him, and he kind of returns and sets them on the counter.
Hello. Again.
Hi. I'm really sorry to be returning these. I,
It's fine.
thank you though.
Yeah.
I was wondering though if you have a length of cloth, a very long length of cloth, like a wrap.
Medical? Or
Uh,
no?
something a little more durable.
He like lifts up his arm because it's not bleeding or anything
Right.
anymore, but it's still like mostly exposed, and the flesh would still be tender.
I have this reinforced silk-like texture that my wife left me a very long time ago. You can keep it if you like. It's very hard to cut through. Like, watch, and he just takes out a dagger and just starts, and he just no mark. I just here.
Does it?
Wait, he said his wife left it to him?
Yeah.
Didn't your wife leave that to you? I wouldn't want to take that away.
She's just take it.
Okay.
She would want you to have it. And plus, I have no reason to keep it anymore.
What was your name? I don't think I caught it the first time.
My name. Today I could be Ecthelion, tomorrow... anything. You can call me whatever you'd like.
Today I could be what?
Ecthelion?
How do you spell that?
Ecthelion.
Today I could be Ecthelion, but tomorrow I could be anyone.
Mm-hmm. I also figured out why I was getting all my dates wrong. It's because I was remembering a Call of Duty Warzone release date instead of anything else release date.
Where are we again? What is this place called?
Asholana.
Asholana? I feel like I have this written down somewhere,
yeah.
but
Asholana. Yep.
and you know, phonetic.
Yep. For the first
Okay.
time in forever.
Thank you.
He is it just like a white silk?
Maroon.
Maroon. You're gonna have to give me a second to actually look up what color maroon is.
That's my easiest description, but it's a little bit more purple in that maroonish. So it's like a reddish purple, I should rather say.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Fair travels.
Thank you. And good luck to you.
Thank you.
Turn back to Aerithem's. And this one, unlike his like usual raps, this one is meant to go like all the way to like elbow where the burns were,
Right.
and wrap all the way around, covering even over the fingertips. Similar to John's full body gauze.
Okay.
He gets back to Aeritham.
You probably want to get out of here sometime soon.
I don't mind. I'm indifferent.
Mm.
You know, he's been here for... Let me restart. Jimmy's restarting. That's the founder of Asholana you just spoke to. That sleepy little elf. I've heard rumors that he's been alive since the elves' pilgrimage from the Feywild. So are you gonna do anything unexpected with the device, or are you just going to go back?
A few thoughts, but I figured I would inquire.
Okay.
Um, something we could guarantee is it could just make the trip, right? Spatially
Yes.
and temporally from here to where I left, or close to it, right? But that's not the fullest extent of its power, right? That's falling short of what its theoretical maximum is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to extend that instead of just making the rift? Does that make sense?
You want to do more things than just go back.
Want to trying to figure out a way to put this. I want to imbue something with the power to make it back.
Like a artifact or a magic item?
Something like that. Something that, like upon using that device.
Actually, do I know? Once that device is used, it seems like it just kind of craps out, right?
Yeah.
That device seems like it shuts down, deactivates completely once it's used.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be possible, though, to give something allow something to act a little more repeatable? Maybe the space between activations is a lot longer, but it's still capable of that. Does that make sense?
It's a possibility. But I can't see why not.
Okay.
What's your idea?
It's twofold.
He he's picked up a bad habit from Aerith. He just points to his exo notes, his type 3 notes on the table that he just kind of left there. Through everything.
I've been working on new exo design. Something within the power, within my own means. Something that I know I have the tools and the ability to work and produce. I was thinking about adding something to it. Something that could bridge the gap. Either that or some other, not the actual exo, but adding something to it. Or perhaps granting such an ability to an item. Something that could bear the strain.
You think you could create the exo with that power? Like, you create the exo through the device with that power.
That's along the lines of what I was thinking.
Okay.
But I mean, you've seen it. I've created. This would just be the third iteration. I want to be able to grant that power to something else, or better yet, if the time comes, to sequester away that power somewhere else, or more likely destroy it.
Why not this thing? And he kind of knocks on the black box.
That could work.
You know, that'd be a cool idea if it was like a suitcase, this thing, and it
Oh
had
my
the ability
gosh.
to like transform into a suit. Frick, did I just steal that from Iron Man?
Yes, you actually did. I thought you were making an Iron Man joke.
Oh wow.
The Mark III?
I didn't mean for that to be an Iron. I
I'm
realized
fairly
that
certain-
after my there in Iron Man 2, he kind of just during the F1 race, right? He just gets a briefcase, just wow. That was not intentional.
Okay, excuse me. Mark V. I was 2 off. Yeah, it's the Mark V.
Maybe in 2 more iterations. I mean, that's tempting.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I can't. I know you weren't trying to, but I can't divorce it from that being an Iron Man joke now.
I mean, if I were to push it to its natural extent, I'd try and make something like what?
He points at Aratham's hands.
I'd try and replicate that.
He points at the papers.
This is a product of what my knowledge level is and what tools I have available. So, okay. Work with me here because I'm trying to. What would the upper limit be, power-wise, for this device? If I wanted to erase the universe, I couldn't do that, but how much of the universe could I erase?
It's not meant to destroy or kill. So.
Really? It's meant to create.
Mhm.
Okay, if I wanted to add space-time, right? We're talking about matter creation, which, by the way, I wanted to point out, that device is why entropy will not claim the universe. If it can make... Assuming the ephemeral doesn't get to it first.
It can literally create a world, and I think that's
Just one
the upper limits. Yeah.
populated with life or barren.
No. Bear.
Be like a gas giant.
Sure.
Could it make a star?
Excuse me.
Could it make a hydrogen star? That'd be, in theory, the lowest.
Sure.
That'd be the best fissile material, right?
Yeah, sure. I haven't tried it, but
There's been no reason yet.
yeah. For one day, for fun, I mean, one day, I'll do that.
Of course, yeah. I can't wait to visit the Arthinian system of the galaxy.
Please don't. I'm sick of people naming things after me.
Really, it wasn't your choice.
No.
You have no idea how many things I've had to call Arthinian.
Mm. It's Thurval. He's the one who names all these things after me.
I'll put in my notice of resignation. Well, that's good to know that at least that's not where your ego lies. Really? That's a whole different story. I think you've got a bad rep with a lot more people than you probably expect. just because of that
It's
naming system.
understandable.
Thurvil is not doing you a favor. You're not doing yourself many favors trying to wipe out the universe. But Thurvil's not helping.
Nope.
Anyways, I'm sorry. This is gonna sound so out of nowhere. Is the ephemeral some sort of weird balancing system? If to me Tiamat seems to be synthesis and creation, whatever the opposite of synthesis is, unsynthesis, forgive me, I don't know a word for it, would be the ephemeral. It almost seems. I don't know. I don't know if the universe works. It just seems like there's...
You're on the right. You're on the right. Track.
It just also seems, though, like it could be scaled down, you know? Like, you could have creation and destruction, but, like, just on the level of, like, matter and antimatter, instead of on the scale of the entire universe all at once. Anyways, this is getting off topic.
Can't look at you. Keep a straight face. Okay, it's fine. I mean, I'm having a very hard time making a decision here. Okay.
Power scaling wise, this thing, at its maximum extent, could make a planet. The size of Clantham, or are we talking greater? You said in theory a star, so potentially a lot greater,
Potentially.
if gaseous.
Yes.
On a scale of stellar power, right? We're talking almost a... This device has the power capability of a Type 2 civilization, in essence. Almost a Type 2. At the very least, a Type 1. Right? This musters potentially literally a planet. So, in theory, it's at least Type 1 power level. It's a civilization worth of power, almost. Temporally, trying to do what we're trying to do. Where on that scaling does it lie? That shift in time.
Temporally, you're asking.
On a... Perhaps I need to reword it. On a civilization power level, right? That exponential.
By the way, Jake is referring to, and therefore Thrick is referring to, are you familiar with the like Type 1, Type 2, Type 3
Yeah.
civilizations?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
On the scaling system of civilizations. On the Erythinian scaling system. I'm really sorry. How much power is the jump we're trying to do? Because in theory it's within that range, but how much of that is it consuming?
A little less than half, maybe.
Okay.
Considering where we are and all that.
That's a lot of power. Means the Aldertall is very powerful.
Hmm.
If they're still alive.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been thinking about a lot of. I've been thinking a lot about them of recent.
Oh.
Yeah. kind of miss them showing up, even though they were very annoying.
You have a few run-ins.
More than a few. Let's just say we're on a first name basis.
Yeah, when I said Aowen,
Was it Aowen? It was Aowen. I'm sorry, I've gotten very confused. There have been a lot of names thrown around.
yeah, when I said Aowen, you were confused.
It's a natural response to me now, because most people don't know who they are, and it's best that they don't know who they are. They continue to not know who they are, and you seem to know enough about them to not warrant me hiding it anymore.
All right. Do you want to drastically underuse the power of it then? The full extent? Because I think I've got an idea.
Okay.
Taps the back of his head.
What if we replace that with something else?
With what
Call it a combination of things. Those
He points at his Ertham's hands.
those nano machines, I take it. You're producing them somehow.
They're not quite machines.
Not quite.
No.
They're organic.
Native
How
to
are
these
you?
woods. Not
Really?
Mhm.
How are you producing them? Or are they producing themselves?
He starts unbuttoning his shirt. And under it, you see a harness, almost like a bulletproof vest sort of thing. You see a little clip for the feather, some pockets for some valuables, and also this little transmitter that looks like a badge. This, he taps.
Like Iron Man.
Okay, buddy.
What? I have to. I'm sorry.
He taps it a little bit and he says, they respond to certain frequencies. Very easily manipulable. Malleable, I mean. And, you know, they, do your bidding to extents. Helpful in most fashions.
This is just a side question. Are they fixing your hands under there, or are your hands just gone?
It's gone.
Alright.
Jamie, when do I have to start speaking conceptually with you and stop speaking with Erathim, or?
I don't.
Let me describe to you my idea
Okay.
now, before continuing in character.
Okay.
The bean, right?
Mhm.
I want to... How do I put this? You know how the black box produces power, right?
Mhm.
Here's the idea. I want to create the bean, right? For two purposes. The bean, right? But this is bean 2, the electric boogaloo, alright?
Okay.
That does two things. it serves as a internal factory
Okay.
for nanomachines.
Okay.
And it does it via, like, I'm trying to think of a good way of explaining this. It does it by something similar to like what the battery does, right?
Mhm.
Imagine just a vastly condensed battery.
Mhm.
So it's got way higher energy capacity and production. And what that means is it is able to charge itself up, and at enough charge, it can actually produce that rift, right?
Mhm.
But it serves a secondary purpose, which is nanomachines, son.
Okay.
um, these ones though don't harden in response to trauma. They're able to. I don't have this fully planned out. Through like a tap on like the back of the head, right?
Mhm.
They can leash
Okay.
that as like. I feel so weird. I don't know why I feel so weird explaining this. This is like the first like really weird idea I've had. But they're like able to leave and then form structures.
Mhm.
So given enough time, in theory, enough could collect and form into, say, another exo. Or in Aertham's case, replace a limb.
Mhm.
But these nanomachines are actually machines. They are mechanical.
Mhm.
And the brain beam doesn't automatically power them, I guess.
Mhm.
So once they've like formed into a thing, eventually they will discharge.
Mhm.
So essentially they are like a programmable metal. Oh, like the Terminator,
Yeah.
like the programmable metal, right?
Mhm.
But not as like cracked insane as that, right?
Okay.
When they form something, there'll be like a lot of bleed off material, right?
Mhm.
Like they could in theory form like incredibly precise and advanced computers by like stitching atoms and bits of themselves into place.
Mhm.
But to like fit the right part exactly, they might have to break off a part of themselves, and then that becomes a waste. And
Right. Right.
so it's inefficient, but it could in theory build and construct materials.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So given enough time, they could produce an exo. The exo wouldn't be powered, but they could produce it.
Mhm.
So that way something like the batteries that I have on hand could be put to producing an exo.
Right. Okay.
And then yeah. And it's like I don't know how to describe it besides like a one-way tap at like the back of the head
Mhm.
is like the exit port.
Okay.
I don't know, we'd have to discuss like how much could be produced per day. And then the other idea though is that the logic of this device, or maybe lack thereof, is that in theory it could be sequestered away.
Right.
Whether that means Thrick has to disappear off the face of existence, or something worse. In theory, it doesn't mean it's permanent, but it's like this is easily protectable for the most part.
Right. Okay.
And it's just enough of him, like with most equipment, how you'd be able to like, if you died and got resurrected, it would be a part of you,
Mhm.
or fit mostly,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Do I have to explain that to Aertham?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we say he explains it to him though? Because I
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
would
as a-
attempt to explain it just to reason it out with Aratham. Like,
Mhm.
is this possible?
Yeah.
So, something like that.
You were right. That would not require a lot of that power that that device harnesses,
Yeah.
and you would also be forfeiting a way home.
Way home?
Well, no. A part of it was the energy it produced
Right.
could
Okay. You're right. Yeah.
rip a hole. It serves two purposes. It can make the bots,
Mhm.
but they're like they're using the other however much is necessary, right?
Mhm.
Because the bots are like a really small portion of it.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Um,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
so-
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a really small portion. The two big parts of it are the rift and then the energy production that can create the rift. The energy production and like recharge. So the rift would work, but like the recharge on it might be months, years,
Right. Yeah.
however long. In theory, though, I would like to also do like smaller jumps, I guess,
Mhm.
like spatially, not just temporally, because I'm already doing a spatial and temporal. This is something we'd have to work out later.
Mhm.
But you get what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's possible.
Mhm.
Cool. I guess.
And like the final thing too would be to also put the original bean, because it's not just destroying that old bean, right? It also just give it to him
Okay.
as just an item he could hold.
Okay. It's so weird that that's just possible.
A lot of things are possible with this machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have decided. I'm gonna stay here. So you can use the street. Nobody will be on it now. Except the grandpa older than I am.
He looks at Aratham. In like, it's like such a weird thing, because it's like he's truthful to what he said, right? He's finding it really hard to hate Aratham after having gotten to know him.
Mhm.
Now, Aratham's still done some horrible things, but he can't quite find it in himself to hate him. He's almost sad that he's got to leave.
Hmm.
He's not like about to start crying or anything, right?
Right.
But have you ever had like leaving like, okay, maybe it's I was gonna bring up an example of grandparents, but your grandparents live a lot farther away than me.
They're all
Um,
dead. All of them.
Visiting someone that you really like and then leaving, right? In my case, it was leaving my grandparents.
Mhm.
Because they don't live that far away, right? They're just in like Kentucky or Tennessee, depending on
Mhm.
what time of year it is, or any number of reasons, honestly. And leaving when I was younger, I would have cried, but now I'm just like, I miss them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like a twinge of like sadness that doesn't like quite go away, but after a while into the drive, you kind of like you come to terms with it, and
Mhm.
you come back to this like almost like it's a weird peace, because like you miss them, but you're through the missing them part.
Mhm.
It's like he's kind of in the I'm gonna weirdly miss him. I don't know if I should like that idea.
One final question. Can this device intuit knowledge? I don't know how to make that idea I had, but can it just grant that to me?
Grant you knowledge.
I don't know. That's what I want to do with it, but I don't know if I need to know how to make that.
If you know it, it will. If you know the concept, then it will. You don't need to explain it to it. It is your will, is essentially what this device is.
Oh. Right.
He lifts up the device, walks it out, sets it down in the street. And before putting his hands or doing whatever he needs to do to activate it, actually, what does he have to do to activate it? Just will it?
Mm-hmm.
Before activating it, he looks back at Aeritham one more time.
Still standing there with his cup of kind of coffee.
Kind of coffee?
Yeah.
Partial coffee? Like
a quarter coffee.
a percent coffee?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Same.
He begins to activate the device.
That shining kind of tear in reality forms a perfect circle in front of, well, behind you, on the machine. So depending on when you're facing, behind or in front. And you can't really see the other side, but it looks like reality is like bleeding into it. You see the colors sort of flow into that portal. Kind of gives you a little, like, cheers with the cup.
You know,
And a sentimental smile. Do you step through?
into whatever this thing is made.
Mm-hmm.
He'll take a step. He'll go into the great beyond.
Sliver of a thought creeps into your head that this may be the very last time you ever see Calanthan again. And the portal closes.
He'll turn and watch it.
The You don't feel like you've been transported, but behind you, another one opens. Dark flickers of electricity, sparks.
That device I described.
Mm-hmm.
Does he feel it? I guess. Did he feel it as the portal was closing?
As you entered.
Okay, as he entered.
Yeah.
Then before the portal closed, he'd reach out a hand
Mm-hmm.
and the first command to some of these machines, have them race up the arm to the fingertips and jump
Mm-hmm.
just back through the portal. And they'd take the form of Thrick.
Mm-hmm.
He's down on a knee with a head bowed towards the ground with a arm like this,
Mm-hmm.
like what the Valkyrie showed him, the sign for love,
Mm-hmm.
and like a base plate like for a D&D figure, right? It reads Chorus, Draconic for hope, as he commands the machines to take that form and solidify. And on the bottom it would say, to Aerith.
I just imagine Aerith just taking a sip, chuckling to himself, saying, "Good one," and slowly walking back inside his hut.
Well, it is there for him if he ever picks it up or wants it. And then he'd turn back to
he'll
the
drag
portal.
it. He'll drag it along with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not that big, right? When we're talking, like, we're talking something that's roughly this big.
Okay. Yeah. He'll pick it up and bring it inside.
It's not like a huge thing, right? We're not talking something that's like Type 3 exo big, right? It's not making a statue. It's like, when I say statue, I mean like a little, like, figure,
It's a fountain.
right? That,
Or font or whatever you say.
a font.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's T-posing. There's water pouring from its face.
But yeah.
Just says, "I am dominant" on the base plate, and it says, "To the dumbass."
But yeah, the other side opens. Flinkers of light. Seared pieces of wood float by. Bent metal, also.
He walks up to the portal, and as he steps through and feels, I imagine he's got some sense of how much energy this is consuming to make this portal. As he feels it reach its maximum before it must shut, he steps through and asks,
Eris?
That's where we close that final one.
"Nice.
Nice.
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 Nice!"
Well, that didn't go
There.
as I thought any of that would ever go.
How'd you think it would go?
Not like